On this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, we're talking about this preseason training camp positional rankings, folks. We're going to look at the position of safety. Who's going to make this roster? Who's not going to make it? Who's going to put on the practice squad? This is probably one of the positions that we really are razor thin, so I'd also be checking the waiver wire for teams as we get on into preseason before the season starts, because we could be looking there. Before we get into today's content, make sure you subscribe, folks. It doesn't cost anything. Hit that bell notification, be notified of future videos on the Panthers just like this. Give me some comments, folks. I love the positive responses I'm getting so far. And also, pound that like button. Let me know you like what Uncle Chucky's putting out here on the Carolina Sports Guy. Okay, friends and family on YouTube, let's kind of get down into this position of safety. This, other than I'd say left tackle, is maybe our biggest concern. I'm going to really look at this list, and I've got 8 gentlemen here. And we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. But I tell you what, this is one position I think everybody needs to pay attention to. Because as I make this video, this is really the one I'm walking out of the plank. And I say that because you start looking at other positions, you pretty much have got, unless a shock takes place or somebody gets hurt, or somebody just gets in trouble with PDs, or just somebody gets put on waivers that we get lucky and get a claim on that fits our scheme, and we beat somebody else to the punch. Unless something like that happens, I can look at other positions and say, okay, this is what we got. Especially when you look at your quarterbacks, or you look at your running back position, or look at our receivers, although you get in the middle of the last couple of guys, it can change up. But this is one. Safeties could be very fluid because it's so razor thin that any change could take place and happen. So, the number 8 guy on this list, and I think he's just going to be in camp. We'll give him a look. He's really going to have to ball out, or somebody, it's a razor thin position, so if they just ball out, they can find a spot, and if not on the roster, but a practice squad. But I just don't see this rookie from South Carolina making it. And I hope I don't butcher the guy's name. So you Gamecock fans, just let me know if I mispronounce his name, how you say it. But it's JT Ibe, or Ibe is his last name. I don't think he's going to make the squad. I think he'll be a camp casualty, folks. Number 7 on this list, Matt Rule guy. Matt Rule knows him. He played at Temple. He's a 4-year player. Safety coming out of Temple, like I said, it's Chandler. I think he's going to have more promise than Ibe because of the fact that, he's got that Matt Rule background at Temple. But I just don't know if Chandler's going to have enough to make the squad, and I don't think he'll even make the practice squad. Now, we get down to number 6. Number 6, I'm actually putting on the practice squad. And you're going to think, wow, you're going to have that many safeties. Well, the thing is, when we get to 4 and 5, I've covered them with the corners because of defensive backs. So they can kind of play multiple positions. But this guy's a true safety, and I've got him making the practice squad because he played for us last year in some games. He was cut. He made the practice squad back and forth. And being he's in his 2nd year and we drafted him, I'm looking at Kenny Robinson, the safety from West Virginia. He's a guy I believe that played in the XFL, or the Alliance for American Football, I believe was the league, and looked pretty good. But Kenny Robinson, I think we can stick this guy on the practice squad. And as long as he keeps developing, you never know, he can make this roster. I just don't see him really with them. When you start looking at corners and safeties together, we're probably going to keep 10. 11 is maximum, and being a couple of these guys can play safety and corner, I think you can kind of eliminate having as many. So you could even have as few as 9. But I think between corner and safety right now, I've got 10, and I've got like 2 or 3 extra guys making the practice squad, meaning we can go with 16. So I'm going to sit here and say that Kenny Robinson, number 6, will be put on the practice squad. Number 5, I've got number 5 making the roster. But only because this guy can play some corner and he can play some safety. And if you follow my video with the corners, it's Lano Hill, defensive back, 5-year player from Michigan. I think we can bring the guy in and because of the depth, and he's a veteran, and the fact that he can play more than one position, I think he'll sneak on this list. If it was one position, I'd probably have him lower than Robinson because of the youth. But I've got him making the team. Number 4, and I like number 4 better than number 5, and he's also a defensive back, a guy that can play corner and a guy that can play safety. And he got in some games for us last year. Second-year player from Ole Miss, Miles Hartsfield. I loved his game. He looked really good last year when he got in. And I'm seeing big things. And as long as he can keep developing, he'll stay on this team. You know, and if somebody gets hurt or injured or needs to come out for a breather or somebody just isn't living up to par, I believe Miles Hartfield's a guy you can get and put in there and then not miss a beat. And number 3 is another guy, 2-year player from Temple. Another Rule guy here, even though he kind of was brought in by Rule, but then Rule left and went to Baylor, but Sam Franklin. And I know Sam Franklin last year played some outside linebacker / safety and is really listed as a safety now. I like Franklin's game better than Hartsfield. And I really think Sam Franklin's going to surprise. And I would not be surprised to see him to be the number 2 safety. But right now, going into training camp, I got him at number 3, but I think it's a safe pick. This guy's going to make the roster. Okay? Number 2. Number 2 is the guy I see starting. Some people don't feel like this guy should have made the roster. He's a far better crowd than Trey Boston. I know he got hurt for us last year. And this is his 6-year safety from NC State, Juston Burris. He had a couple games where he looked really good, played well for us. And then he had a couple where he looked out of position and lost. And, of course, he was hurt. I think Sam Franklin can bypass Burris this year. But right now I've got Burris hanging on to the number 2 safety position. And number 1, without a doubt, folks, and this is the player right here. The reason why, as weak as our safeties can be, that this guy plays up to billing. And he's going from linebacker last year as a rookie to playing safety this year. And if he can play his job and do well and hopefully play at a Pro Bowl caliber way, we only need one of the other safeties to show up and play better than average, and we'll be good in our secondary. And that's none other than the 2nd-year player from Northern Illinois, Jeremy Chinn, our 2nd-round pick last year. I think Chinn moving to safety, he's going to save his body some. I don't know if he'll be as involved in the play because you're kind of safety's free roaming that can get involved, but yet the linebackers tend to be closer up to the line of scrimmage and can see more action. So I'm hoping we're not taking him out of too many plays. But as smarty and heady as he is and athletic as he is, I see Jeremy Chinn being a very good safety for us. And believe me, folks, we definitely need some good safety play. We've been lacking in that one position for years. So what do you folks think of today's video? Who would you rank as your 2 starting safeties? Who do you have on this list that you think that we definitely need to get rid of? Do you see anybody making the practice squad? Leave me some comments. Hit that bell notification. Be notified of other videos like today's video. Smash that like button. And by all means, folks, for Uncle Chucky's sake, please subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. And we will see you on another episode of Carolina Sports Guy.